Welcome everybody to game number 70 of our Mets replay. We are at Citi Field and we are hosting the Kansas City Royals. It's going to be Danny Duffy pitching for the Royals. He won 12 games with a 3.51 ERA against Noah Syndergaard, who won 14 games with a 2.60 ERA. So he was dominant in that 2016 season. He actually had 30 starts, so he played most of the season. It wasn't like a half-season record. And the Mets' record at this point is 37-32 after 70 games. I'm trying to make it within this week to the All-Star break. And leading off for the Royals, it's going to be Whit Merrifield. And here is the pitch to Merrifield from Syndergaard. 2-5, and that ball is line base hit for Merrifield. So he starts off with a single off Syndergaard. This is the second game of a two-game series. June 22nd. This was played on June 22nd, 2016. Next, we're going to go to a series with the Braves on June 23rd. Next game, we're going to see, let's see who that is. I can't really see who that is right now. I'll check it out later. Here's the pitch to Escobar, runner on first. It's going to be a 6-11. It's going to be off Syndergaard's card. And an 11 is a ground ball pitcher, X, and Syndergaard is a 4 fielder. We rolled a 6. I believe we rolled a 6. I can't remember. Okay, now it's a 9. We rolled a 9. And he's a 4, and that's going to be an out if no runners are forced. So Syndergaard, it's a comebacker, which Syndergaard takes and throws over to Cabrera. And that's a force out. Fielder's choice. Escobar's on at first, 1 away. And Hosmer now. Also, let's take a look at Escobar in terms of, he's a stealing A. So Syndergaard is pretty easy to steal on, so he's going to throw over. And there goes Escobar. Escobar is going to steal at a rate of 1-15. And we rolled a 14, so he's safe. So Escobar steals second base now. And it's Hosmer, 6-7, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And the right fielder, Granderson, he's there for the second out. 2 away now. And it's 4 off of Syndergaard, 4-7. 4-7 is a ground ball to the second baseman, who is a 3. We rolled a 13, and that's going to be an out. So Walker throws out Kane, and the Royals leave 1 here in the top of the first, and the Mets coming to bat, no score. It's going to be Duffy facing Granderson, Cabrera, and Cespedes, who haven't really been hitting in the last couple of games. Here's the pitch to Granderson. It's going to be a 3-6, and that's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Escobar, 1 away. As Drupal Cabrera, he's 1 for his last 8. 3 for 8, and that's single base hit. So Cabrera's on at first now. See Cespedes, and that's a 6-10. A 6-10 is a ground ball to the second baseman. Cabrera hustles over to second. 2 away. It's going to be Walker, Neil Walker, batting fourth, batting cleanup for the Mets. He's been in that position for the last few games. And it's a 5-6, and that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Escobar's a 1, so that's an out. A fielder's choice, or a force out rather, for the third out. So the Mets leave 1, and at the end of 1, there's no score. Noah Syndergaard Goes over 100 miles an hour, and here's Salvador Perez. It's a 1-9, and that ball is lifted to deep center field. Back goes the center fielder Cespedes to the track, to the wall. He looks up, and that's gone. Home. Salvador Perez got a hold of that fastball and just launched it into the seats in center field. Here's Paulo Orlando, who batted .302 with 5 home runs. That's a 1-10. That ball is lined, base hit for Orlando. That's the third hit given up by Syndergaard. Orlando's now on at first. He's a beast stealing, and we're going to send him. And he's safe at second base with a stolen base. And it's going to be Chester Cuthbert with nobody out here. And that's a 1-7. 1-7 is a ground ball to the third baseman, who looks Orlando back and throws him out, 1 away. So Cuthbert is out. And Orlando's still at second. It's going to be Gerard Dyson. It's a 1-5, and that's a fly ball center field. And under that is Cespedes. Gets it in quickly. So 2 away now, and it's going to be the pitcher, Duffy. Duffy's a pitcher hitting card number 2. That's a 6-5. 6-5. It's a strikeout. First strikeout for Syndergaard. And the third out. So the Royals leave one on, and they score one. They lead it 1-0. Here in the top of the second, on the home run by Salvador Perez. And we're going to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Danny Duffy facing Wilmer Flores. Here's the pitch to Flores. So 1-5. It's a line drive base hit single. Flores on at first. James Loney. 3-8. And that ball is lifted to deep center field. Back goes the center fielder, Lorenzo Cain, to the track, to the fence. He looks up, and that's gone. 2-run home run for James Loney. Gives the Mets a 2-1 lead. It's going to be Matt Reynolds. 2-8, and that ball is lying into the gap, hustling around first and into second. Here's the throw, and he's in under the tag with a double. Rene Rivera. Reynolds on at second. Rene Rivera 3-10. A 3-10 is a line drive base hit single. They're going to try to score Reynolds. And let's take a look quickly at what Reynolds is. Reynolds is a 1-13. And that's a 14. And he's out at the plate for the first out of the inning. So Rivera's going to stay at first base, and it's going to be Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard has his own batting card. 1 away now, and Rivera's on at first. 2-1 Mets, and it's going to be a 3-7. A 3-7 is a strikeout. First strikeout for Duffy. So that's the second out. Two out now. Reynolds was thrown out. And it's going to be Granderson with Rivera on at first base. Curtis Granderson batted .237 with 30 home runs. It's a 1-6. A 1-6 is a ground ball hit right at the first baseman, Hosmer. He's going to take it himself for the 3 unassisted, and that's the third out. But the Mets score 2 runs on 4 hits and now lead it 2-1. Go to the top of the third. Noah Syndergaard, who was practically unhittable in 2016, he's going to be facing the top of the order, Merrifield, who is 1-for-1. He singled his first at bat. It's going to be a 6-5, and that's a strikeout. One away. Here's Alcides Escobar, who hit into a fielder's choice. 4-7. That's a ground ball, second base. 13. That's an out. Nice play by Walker. Hosmer flew out in his first at bat. It's going to be a 3-6, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And the third out, 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the third. This is going to be Danny Duffy facing Cabrera, who's 1-for-1. Cespedes and Walker. Here's a pitch to Cabrera. It's going to be a 2-5. A 2-5 is a line drive caught by the second baseman, Merrifield. Yoenis Cespedes now. And that's a 3-11. That's a ground ball back to the pitcher. If he fields his position for the second out. And that's going to be Neil Walker. And that's a 1-3. Is a Walker. And with 2 outs, it's Flores. 2-9, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Duffy. Third out of the inning. Mets lead 1. That's the Mets. Syndergaard is going to face Kane, Perez, and Orlando. And Kane batted .287 with 9 home runs. More of a speedster type. 2-8, and that ball is line base hit for Lorenzo Kane. He's on with a single. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits so far for Syndergaard. It's going to be a 6-7. A 6-7. It's a fly ball lifted to right field. Granderson is there. 1 away. Paulo Orlando now. It's a 1-5. A 1-5 is lined for a shot in the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall, and hustling to third is going to be Kane. Stopping at second with a double is going to be Orlando. Now let's take a quick look at Kane, and they're going to wave Kane around. We're going to look at what he does, and he's safe at home. So the game is tied now. An RBI goes to Orlando on that double. Kane has the speed, and it's going to be Chester Cuthbert. Chester Cuthbert is 0-for-1. 1 out. Orlando's on at second. He's 2-for-2. Going to be a 2-10. A 2-10 is a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman Walker's calling for it, and that's a second out. Gerard Dyson now, who batted .278 with 1 home run, is up. The go-ahead run is on at second. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 5-5. A 5-5 is a split die, and that's going to be hit into the gap. And that gets cut off by Cespedes. Around third is Orlando. Here comes a throw to second. He is safe under the tag, so that's a RBI double for Dyson. And the Royals lead it 3-2. And it's the pitcher now. Duffy, 2-7. 2-7 is a strikeout. That's the third out. Strikeout number 4 for Syndergaard, but Syndergaard gives up 2 more hits and 1, 2, 3 runs. Well, he gave a run earlier, 2 runs in this inning. So the Royals score 1, 2 on 1, 2, 3 hits, and they now lead it 3-2. We go to the bottom of the fourth. In the bottom of the fourth is going to be James Loney, Matt Reynolds, and Rene Rivera. Here's the pitch from Duffy. It's going to be 3-6. 3-6. That's a line drive base hit for Loney. Loney hit a 2-run home run earlier in the game, so he's 2 for 2 on the day. Matt Reynolds now. A 110. A 110 is a strikeout. It's the third strikeout for Duffy. 1 away. And Rene Rivera batted .222 with 6 home runs. It's going to be a 5-8, and that's going to be a split die, and that's going to go for a single. Over to third goes Loney. First and third now with Syndergaard the batter. It's going to be a 4-5. A 4-5 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 4, second out of the inning. And runners on first and third with 2 outs. It's going to be Curtis Granderson, who's 0 for 2. Granderson has some power. He hit 30 home runs. It's a 4-6. That's going to be a 4-6 off Duffy's card, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the 5th strikeout for Duffy. And at the end of 4, it's 3-2 Royals. We go to the top of the 5th here. Syndergaard's facing the top of the order in Merrifield. Whit Merrifield, utility type player, plays almost every position. Strikeout number 5. 2 away, Eric Hosmer. So 111, and that's a line drive base hit for Hosmer. 1 for 3 now on the day. Lorenzo Cain batted .287 with 9 home runs. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 3-5. A 3-5. It's a ground ball right at the shortstop Cabrera, who flips to Walker for the force out and the 3rd out of the inning. The Royals leave 1, but don't score in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th now. It's 3-2 Royals. Danny Duffy is going to face Cabrera, Cespedes, and Walker. That's a 6-8. A 6-8 is a split die, and that's going to be hit into the alley. And hustling around first is going to Cabrera, and he goes into second sliding, and he is safe under the tag. That's a leadoff double by Cabrera. He's 2 for 3 on the day. And now Yoenis Cespedes. That's going to be a 6-3, and that's a fly ball left field. The left fielder today is Dyson. He's a 1. And that's a 1. A 1-1 is a beautiful catch by Dyson. So it's F7, 1 out. And it's Neil Walker. Neil Walker is 0 for 1 with a walk. It's a 4-9. A 4-9 is going to be a line drive base hit, and Cabrera is going to stop at third with 1 out. First and third now. Tying run is 90 feet away here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch to Flores. It's a 1-6. A 1-6, and that's, he hits it up the middle, and that's due to center field for a base hit. An RBI single, and stopping at second is going to be Walker. Neil Walker. So runners on first and second now. RBI for Flores. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Game is tied at 3 apiece. It's going to be James Loney. James Loney's 2 for 2. He homered and singled. And it's going to be a 3-5. A 3-5 is a line drive base hit. RBI for Loney. And stopping at second is going to be Flores. And hold on a second. Walker stopped at second, so we're going to have to check, and Walker's going to be safe at home underneath the tag. And now the Mets are up. The Mets are up 4-3. Runners on first and second. And it's going to be Reynolds. Matt Reynolds, who is 1 for 2. He doubled. He was thrown out at home. It's going to be a 5-11. 5-11. And that's going to be a split die. And that's going to be hit into the gap. That's going to roll to the wall. Around to score is Flores. And Loney's going to try to score. They're waving him home. Loney is an 8. There's only one out. And they're going to pull him up. They're going to stop him. So he stays at third base. And Reynolds manages a double. An RBI double by Matt Reynolds, his second double of the game. And he drives in Flores. And Loney stops at third. So it's second and third now, with only one away, here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It's going to be Rene Rivera. It's going to be a 5-7. A 5-7 is a ground ball to the second baseman, X. And Merrifield is a 2, rolling 11. And that's going to be an RBI for Rivera on the ground out. Coming in to score is Loney. Over to third goes Reynolds. So there's 2 out now. And it's Syndergaard. And the Mets lead it 6-1. I'm sorry, 6-3. Here in the bottom of the fifth, they score 4 runs, 2, 3, 4 off Duffy. And Duffy gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits so far. And it's going to be Syndergaard. Here's a pitch to Syndergaard. It's going to be a 4-6. A 4-6 is a strikeout. And that's strikeout number 6. That's the third out. And at the end of 5 innings of play, it's 6-3 Mets. So Syndergaard is still in there. And it's going to be Salvador Perez, 5-8. 5-8 is a strikeout. Number 6, 1 away. Paulo 2 away now, here in the top of the 6th inning. And here's Chesler Cuthbert. I'm sorry, Chesler Cuthbert, and he's 0 for 2. And that's a 2-6. A 2-6 is a strikeout. So Syndergaard strikes out the side. 7th and 8th, 6, 7, and 8 strikeouts. So he has a total of 8. And it's going to be Granderson in the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-3 Mets. We have 3-9. 3-9 is a strikeout for Granderson. Strikeout number 7 for Duffy. 1 out now. Cabrera. 3-10, and that's a line drive base hit for Cabrera. That's his 3rd hit of the game. And that's hit number 11 for Duffy. And we're going to see a double switch now. And a new pitcher. See if we can bring in Soria. I'm going to bring in Soria. And we're going to bring in a let's see. to play third base. And he wasn't around very. Christian Colon hasn't been around very much. Scoring Morales. Omar Infante. So I don't really know who they had at this point. So what we're going to do is bring in Eibner. Brett Eibner. And the double switch is going to be with Orlando. So the new pitcher is going to be Soria. And Eibner is going to play left field. He's going to be a 2 in left field. Okay, we saw that problem. It's going to be Dyson, Eibner, and Soria is going to be in that Paulo Orlando slot. So it's going to be where is he now? Let's see. We can draw. Okay, I see what I did with him. Put him back in the slot. It's going to be Soria facing Yoenis Cespedes. Soria had 5 wins with a 4.05 ERA. Here's the pitch to Cespedes. And that's a 210. A 210 off his card. It's going to be a line drive base hit. And Cabrera to second. So with runners on first and second and 1 out, it's Neil Walker. A 1-3, and that ball is ball 4. Bases loaded now for Flores, who's 2 for 3. Got an RBI single. Here's a pitch to Flores. Let's say 3-3. That's lined and caught by the shortstop Escobar for the second out of the inning. Bases are still loaded, and it's Loney. Loney's 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 singles. Here's the pitch to Loney. It's going to be a 3-9, a 3-9. That ball is going to be sliced, and it falls in for a single. Runners going to advance 2 bases. So Cabrera scores, Cespedes scores, Walker over to third. And that's a 2-run single with 2 outs here for James Loney, who's now 4 for 4 on the day, and he's got 5 RBIs. Matt Reynolds, 5'8", and that's ball 4. So Soria's had a hard time getting anybody out. He's gotten 1 out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batters that he's faced. So with runners on first and second, he's going to face Rene Rivera, who's 2 for 3. It's a hit parade for the Mets today. It's going to be 6-2. 6-2 is a ground ball to the second baseman. Merrifield handles it easily for the 3rd out. But the Mets pick up 2 runs on 3 hits and a walk. And they now lead it 8-3 going into the top of the 7th inning. So we still have Noah Syndergaard pitching. Noah's going to face Dyson. That's a 2-11. A 2-11 is a line drive base hit for Dyson. And Eibner's next. Eibner, the new next left fielder, he came in on a double switch. This will be a 1-7, and that's a fly ball that's lifted to left. And the left fielder Reynolds comes over, and that's one away. It's going to be Whit Merrifield, who's 1 for 3. There's action in the Mets bullpen. 4-7. 4-7 is a ground ball to the second baseman. We rolled an 8. And that's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. And the Mets get out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th now. And it's Mets 8 and Royals 3. It's going to be Syndergaard leading it off for the Mets. A 1-7. That's a walk, ball 4. So Syndergaard's on at first. Next is Granderson. That's a 5-8, and that's ball 4. And that's going to be it for Soria. Soria walked 4 batters in the short time he was in the game. I got a place that I ordered them. I can send you the link, or yeah, I just got a big order. Well, a big order. I think I ordered about 100, not 100, 500. I order usually 500 at a time. I think I just ordered sleeves for Appa as well. I ordered 1,000. And there's a couple people that I get them from. I have those links, so if you write, I'll go back. I'll try to remember and read this. If you remind me, if I forget, remind me, and I'll add that link to this broadcast. So we're gonna get a Granderson walk. So the runners on first and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. The Mets are up by a score of 8-3. Excuse me. And there's gonna be a new pitcher for the Royals. It's going to be Flynn. If we can track down Flynn. Brian Flynn is coming in. And easily accessible. Okay, it's going to be Cabrera now. Cabrera is 3 for 4 on the day. And he's going to face with easily accessible. Okay, it's going to be Cabrera now. Cabrera is 3 for 4 on the day. He's on first and second. He will be facing Flynn. Now, Brian Flynn won 1 game and has a 2.60 ERA in 55 innings pitched. So here's the pitch from Flynn to Cabrera. It's going to be a 6-11. A 6-11 is a ground ball to the first baseman. And Hosmer is going to take that unassisted, 1 away, and that allows both runners to move up. So the second and third with 1 out now for Yoenis Cespedes. And they're going to walk Cespedes and bring the infield in. And it's going to be Walker. It's a 5-8. A 5-8 is a ground ball right at the shortstop. Exactly what they wanted. He's a 1, so that's a 4-1. And that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and the Royals are out of the inning. So that walk to Cespedes really paid off. And we go to the top of the 8th. It's Mets 8 and Royals 3. Now Noah Syndergaard is still in there. And he's got 2 more hits that he's allowed. A total of 8 hits so far. So he's hanging in there. Here's going to be Alcides Escobar from Noah Syndergaard. 1-5. It's be a ground ball hit that Cabrera over to first, one away. Eric Hosmer, 6-6, and that's a line drive base hit for Hosmer. That's his second hit of the game. 9th hit given up by Syndergaard and Lorenzo Cain. It's 2-5, and that ball is going to be hit into the gap. And hustling to get it, it's going to be Cespedes. Stopping at third is going to be Hosmer. So it's second and third now. It's a double for Cain. And we're running low on batteries, so I'm going to have to set up the system here to finish this out. I have to move it a little bit to get this charger to reach. All right. Not too much, just a little bit here. There we go. A little bit different, the angle. There we go. And okay, we are in the top of the 8th inning. There's one out. Runners on second and third. And that's going to be all for Syndergaard. Coming in is going to be, let's see if Salvador Perez is a righty. So it's going to be Reed. Addison Reed for the Mets is coming in. So, Syndergaard gives up the ball. And it's Addison Reed. He's going to take his warm-up tosses. And he's going to face Salvador Perez with runners on second and third. The score is 8-3 Mets here in the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be Perez. Let's try to get him in there. Try to leave it there. And it's going to be a 5-7 from Addison Reed. A 7 is a strikeout. That's a second out. Big strikeout by Addison Reed. Now Reed won 4 games with a 1.97 ERA and 78 innings pitched. So he's a go-to guy for the Mets. And the next batter is going to be, I believe it's actually the pitcher. The pitcher's going to come in there, so we're going to get a pinch hitter. We're going to get a new pitcher. It's going to be Herrera. The new pitcher is going to be Herrera, and the pinch hitter is going to be, I'm not sure who the pinch hitter is going to be. Let's see. Morales. Kendry Morales. There's Kendry's card. And here's the pitch from Addison Reed. It's going to be a 6-5. A 6-5 is going to be a strikeout. So Addison Reed comes in and strikes out Perez, and then the pinch hitter, Kendry Morales. In the top of the 7th inning. And the Royals leave 2 runners on base. And they don't score here in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th, it's 8-3 Mets. Okay, it's going to be Wilmer Flores leading off for the Mets. Wilmer Flores is 2 for 4. And it's going to be Kelvin Herrera. Kelvin Herrera had 2 victories with a 2.75 ERA and 72 innings pitched. It's going to be a 6-11. 6-11 is a fly ball to right field. The right fielder is Eibner, who's a 3, or was he a 2? Eibner is a 2 in right field. Let's double check. Yes, he's a 2. And we rolled a 19. That's probably going to be roll again. No, it's not. It makes a nice running catch for the first out. So with 1 out, it's going to be James Loney now. James Loney is 4 for 4 on the day. A home run and 3 singles. He's driven in 5 runs. So he's having a pretty nice day. This is a pitch from Herrera. It's a 3-3. A 3-3 is a pop-up to the right side. Second baseman Merrifield calls for it. 2 away. And now it's Matt Reynolds. Matt Reynolds is 2 for 3. He's double, singled, and no, he's actually doubled twice and walked. Matt Reynolds. And it's a 6-7. That's a fly ball lifted to right. Right fielder is Eibner. And he makes the catch. Second catch of the inning for Eibner. And that's 8 innings of play. It's 8-3 Mets. We go to the top of the 9th now. And it's still Reed in there for the Mets. That's going to be the bottom of the order. It's going to be Cuthbert, Dyson, and Eibner. Let's put these guys to the side. And here's going to be the pitch from Addison Reed. Not a safe situation, so we don't have to worry about bringing Familia in. It's going to be a 3-10. That's a line drive base hit for Cuthbert. His first hit of the game. He's 1 for 4 now. And he stands at first base. Next is going to be Gerard Dyson. It's a 4-11. A 4-11 is a ground ball back to the pitcher, X. Reed is a 4. And we're going to get a 12. 4-12. And that's going to be a ball that Reed turns around and throws to the shortstop. Back to first, not in time. So it's a fielder's choice. Dyson's on at first, but there's 1 out. And Eibner is the batter. Brett Eibner. 1 away. Dyson's at first. It's 3-5. And that's a strikeout. It's the 3rd strikeout for Reed. In the second out here in the top of the 9th inning, the Mets are 1 out away from taking this second game of a 2-game series. It's going to be the top of the order. Whit Merrifield. He batted .283 with 2 home runs. It's going to be 1-4. 1-4 is a ground ball hit right at Asdrubal. And Asdrubal is going to take it himself. And that's the ball game. So the Mets win it by a score of 8-3. And that's game number 70. Their record now is going to be 38-32. They're 6 games over 500. And Syndergaard's going to get the victory. Now Syndergaard gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits before he was replaced. Gave up 3 runs. And what's interesting is he walked nobody, so no walks, and he gave up 1 home run. And Reed get a save. The Mets win by 5 runs, so he won't get a save. But he does go 1.2, 1 2/3 innings. Gives up 1.2. He gives up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. And that's all, folks, for game number 70 of the Mets replay. You saw Syndergaard with, I have him down for 8 strikeouts. You know, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I do. I have him for 8 strikeouts. In 6 1/3 innings. 6 1/3. And that's all she wrote for tonight. And the replay of the 2016 Mets season, which is a season that takes them to a 1-game playoff against the San Francisco Giants. They have a pretty good pitching staff. They have some hitters. This is the actual World Series team, so that's why I enjoyed playing 2016. Eventually, I have a feeling I may play 2015 as well. But anyway, I went to see a lot of these games at Citi Field with my son in 2016, and then I saw them. I also watched the Mets in 2015 as well, and I was there in 2017. So 3 consecutive years. I saw about 15 games each season at Shea Stadium, and that was fun. So I have a lot of great memories from being there with my son. So when I play these games, it takes me back to that place of just relaxing, and my son being smaller and being really excited and that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for stopping by. I'll take care of that sleeve thing, and I'll try to send it to you by email, or I'll just load it up here to this this conversation, so we can have access to it. All right. So take care. Combat Painter signing off.